What's going on, everybody? AOJ back at it with the boys at NAHA for another video review. The brand that we're doing it on is Nirvana's Super Shisha. This particular flavor is Apple Explosion. This was given to us by Bassam over at medwalk.com, and if you're not familiar with Nirvana's Super Shisha, basically it is hookah tobacco mixed with doka. Typical setups that we're using today: regular funnel bowl, the Cloud Lotus, regular coconut charcoal, standard Egyptian style hookahs, tap water in the base, and standard hookah hoses. As far as the color, the texture, natural in color, fairly juicy, and this particular batch is super chopped up. Almost resembles regular pipe tobacco. As far as the smell, I bet you want to know about the smell. I got a few people that want to tell you about the smell and the taste of this. So we'll start off with Canadian Shisha.
Thanks, Jay. I'm Canadian Shisha, and let me get into my portion of the review. As you guys can see, the clouds are great, big puffy white clouds. And I've always had really great sessions with Nirvana Shisha. I use 3 coals and it does a great job. Now, the smoke's not as smooth as most Shisha smoke is. You do get a little bit of harshness. That's because of the NAHA. It's not because you're burning it. So that's something to think of. As far as flavor goes, though, Apple Explosion, it is their take on a double apple. It's very good. You know, you get more of a sweet apple note than you do a heavy licorice, which is what I prefer. So, you know, there are the anise undertones in there, or anise undertones in there, but I do get a really sweet red apple flavor with this. The smoke is very enjoyable. You are getting more of a buzz on this than you do with normal shishas, definitely. Especially if you hold it in and let it hug your lungs for a little bit. You are going to get more of a head rush with this stuff. But all in all, very enjoyable. I'm going to give the entire score 8 out of 10. It's a very high rating, but it's a good flavor. I enjoy the apple. I enjoy the undernote of anise as opposed to the heavy licorice taste. So all in all, 8 out of 10. Up next is Smoker Pass.
Hey everybody, it's Smoker Pass. Thank you, Canadian Shisha. Alright guys, I'm smoking what everyone else is smoking, some Apple Explosion. Now it's funny, I've already shot a video for this, and I gave this a 7.5 because of this weird kind of aftertaste that I was getting from the smoke. I was getting this nice blend of double apple and black licorice, and the apple that was in there was a little sweet, and that's what I liked about it. But then as soon as I went to exhale, I lost that double apple taste. It's getting more of this weird kind of spice, but this weird kind of heavy licorice taste that I wasn't really a fan of. So yeah, I pretty much wasn't too much of a fan about it until I changed my packing method. This time around I did more of a fluff pack with this, and it definitely changed the flavor for me. On the exhale, I was getting more of a sweeter tone, which is what I was hoping for. Definitely the spice did calm down quite a bit, and it was more to my liking. So my overall rating for this is a 8.5. It's definitely a new twist for an apple for me. Like I said, I'm used to a sweet apple. That's what I would call double apple. So when I came across this, I was like, you know, this isn't what I know. This is something new. So let me show you some clouds really quick, because I'm very impressed with the clouds from this new and improved Nirvana blend. Alright? So as you can see, big old clouds, full flavor, and that lasts for quite some time. If you're not accustomed to the doka or that head buzz, longevity for you might be a little crazy because you keep smoking it you'll definitely feel something. But you get used to it, it all feels good. Right about now, I'm going to pass it over to the hookah enthusiast, Mike.
Thank you, Smoker Pass. What's up, guys? It's Mike here for you, giving you my take on the new Nirvana Super Shisha Apple Explosion. As you know, Nirvana's take on Double Apple. I'm a huge Double Apple fan, so we're really looking forward to giving you my thoughts on this. So, here we go. No surprise, nice, thick Nirvana clouds. You're always going to have that when you're smoking Nirvana. Now, as far as the flavor goes, of course it's a double apple flavor, and I think that every brand's take on double apple has their own unique taste, and this is definitely no exception. It's a very nice apple flavor, and the anise for me is a little bit on the sweet side, not to the point where I don't want to smoke it though. It's actually a good thing, and I think it complements the apple well. As far as the mixture goes, I'd have to say it's a pretty evenly balanced mix between the apple and the anise or the black licorice or whatever you want to call it. On the inhale, you're getting the nice evenly balanced mix, and on the exhale, you still get that evenly balanced mix, but it leaves a nice little spicy aftertaste, really, and it kind of resembles more of a natural anise. So it kind of goes from a little sweet on the exhale to that nice little spicy aftertaste, and I really enjoy it. As far as the longevity goes, I've smoked this a couple times now, go well into 2 rounds of cools with the Lotus and not lose much flavor at all. So the longevity is very good, as well as the heat management. So with this, it's not a flavor that is going to overtake my #1 double apple, but when I want to smoke double apple, I will give this a consideration, a strong consideration, and for that I'm going to give this a 9 for 10. So up next, Jihooka.
Thanks a lot, Mike. It's Jihooka here to give you guys my take on Nirvana Super Shisha's Apple Explosion. So as you can see, they're an hour into my session. The clouds are still very thick, very dense, and very white. I've only smoked Nirvana Super Shisha once prior to this, and the clouds were very big then, and even now, an hour into the session, the clouds are still very thick, dense, and white, so you're going to get very high cloud production coming off of this, so no surprise there, as always. But as far as the taste, it's a very nice double apple flavor. It's very similar to NAHA's double apple. It's got that very nice, strong anise taste to it. You're going to get that really nice sweetness in there. It's not going to be overpowering like an AF double apple where it's too overpowering, but this is just right at the perfect level to where it's still extremely strong, but it's very enjoyable. You're going to get a nice undertone of the green apple, which is very nice as well. But overall, this is a very, very solid double apple flavor. But yeah, just to recap, overall, very nice, very strong, very bold, very sweet anise taste to it. You're going to get that nice hint of the green apple in there as well, which is something that I really do like. That's not something that I get with a lot of double apple flavors. Sometimes you lose the green apple when you have all that anise in it, but with this one, it's at the perfect balance to where the anise is still stronger, but you're going to get that nice undertone of green apple. So with that being said, this is a very solid flavor for me. I love double apple flavors. This is spot on perfect for me, so I have to give it a 10 out of 10. And the Hookah Demon is up next.
Thanks a lot, Jihooka. Hookah Demon here, and I'm going to give you my opinion on Nirvana Super Shisha Apple Explosion. Now, when I first got this, I was excited and not excited because I have my moments when I do like apple flavors. So, like I said, when I got it, kind of excited, kind of not. So, it does have a real anise or black licorice smell to it when you get it, and I can say the same for when I taste it. So let me puff on this, show you guys the clouds, and explain to you a little bit more how it tastes. Now, it's no NAHA double apple. It's not as strong as NAHA double apple, but It does got a lot of anise kick to it. It tastes like an apple explosion, if you will. And for me, not liking apple flavors all the time, I'm not a constant apple smoker. But for me, this flavor, it's quite enjoyable. I don't think it doesn't give that much of a anise kick as other apple flavors that I've tried before. And for me, it's just the right amount of flavor to where I can actually enjoy this for long periods of time and actually want to continue smoking it. So, yeah, as you saw, it does have good clouds, and it is new and improved. So, my overall rating for Apple Explosion, I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. It's got a really good flavor, it's got really good clouds, too much in this, which is just perfect for me. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. This has been the Hookah Demon. Up next, I got Dragonfly Mike for you guys.
Thank you very much, Hookah Demon. It is Dragonfly Mike 77. Let me pop into some clouds. You do get good clouds from the Nirvana Super Shisha. They are a tad stronger than a lot of other tobaccos out there, and that's because of the Jihooka. Now, when it comes to the actual flavor of this tobacco, it has some positive notes, but overall, I feel like it kind of has almost a dirty aftertaste to it. It's just something that I'm really not a big fan of. The apple flavor in it, I think, is pretty good, and the anise is not bad in it, but for some reason, there's just this odd aftertone that I'm really just not a big fan of in this tobacco. Now, when it comes to my rating, I wasn't sure how to go about it because it did have some positive notes, but at the same time, this isn't something that I want to smoke. Because of that, I'm only going to be giving it a 4 out of 10. This flavor, normally I really like double apple flavors, but for some reason I'm just not a big fan of this flavor. It does really remind me of the double apple Jihooka that Bassam sells, but for some reason I just don't think that it mixes well with hookah tobacco. I'm sorry about that, but this flavor is just not my bag. I think that's all I got, and back to you, AOJ.
Well, there you have it. Everybody's impression on Apple Explosion. As far as my own, I'm going to show you guys a couple clouds first. So, the first time ever smoking this flavor, it was very reminiscent to Knuckles Double Apple, like previously stated. So it was just basically a mellow double apple anise type of flavoring. The second time around, I noticed that there was a fragrance that I possibly missed or probably just didn't pick out, which was a green apple aspect to this. That double apple and that green apple combines and makes something really good. But it still just tastes like double apple to myself. It's nothing out of the ordinary, just tastes like double apple and anise. Another thing is, when I first smoked it, not this particular brand, when I first smoked, or not this particular flavor, when I first smoked Nirvana Super Shisha, I got a strong roughness and harshness in the back of my throat. This one is a little bit more mild, but it's still just there, which makes it a little bit hard to enjoy for myself. I'm very sensitive sometimes to harshness, and sometimes I'm able to take it depending on the brand. But this one just really kicks me in the back of my throat, and it's just a little bit hard to smoke for myself. But like I said, it has toned down compared to the first time I've ever smoked it. But still, I'm going to go ahead and rate it a 5.5. It's not an amazing flavor. That roughness kind of turns it off for myself. And the double apple flavoring, I'm just not a big fan of to begin with. But it's still an enjoyable smoke as far as double apples go. It's just a little bit rough personally for myself. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and rate it a 5.5. And the overall rating for this would be a 7.3. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Nirvana Super Shisha, and we'll see you guys later.